Good afternoon, New York, and the rest of our listeners around the globe. My name is June Stoyer, and I'm the host of the Organic View radio show. Our podcast is available on iTunes, Zune, and all major podcast providers. So if you can't catch the show live, you can download it or simply use our free podcast player, which is available on our website at www.theorganicview.com. If you'd like to connect with us, please post a question on our wall on Facebook or send me a tweet at June Stoyer on Twitter. If you'd like to be on the show or would like to find out about sponsorship opportunities, please contact us at questions@theorganicview.com. Today's show is sponsored by Austria's finest naturally authentic pumpkin seeds and pumpkin seed oil from the Steiermark, available at organicuniverse.com. Listeners of The Organic View can receive $1 off their purchase by using the coupon code ORGVIEW. That's ORGVIEW. Also, don't forget to check out our contest section on our website to submit your information for our free monthly giveaways. For more information, please visit our website at www.theorganicview.com/contests. The world was outraged when Cecil the Lion was killed by a Minnesota dentist. Sadly, trophy hunting and canned hunting are perfectly legal. There are no international laws. However, major progress has been made thanks to New Jersey Senator Raymond Lesniak. On today's show, he's going to talk about his efforts to protect wildlife and also help put an end to trophy hunting. So I'd like to welcome to the show Senator Raymond Lesniak. Welcome.
Well, thank you, and welcome. And you're absolutely right that I'm very pleased that New Jersey has taken the lead in order to stop this carnage. And not only is it cruel, but it is threatening the very survival on Earth of these majestic animals, lions, tigers, leopards, elephants. And they should not be killed to put on somebody's wall or as a rug, as a trophy. It's very difficult to understand how someone gets any pleasure out of killing an animal just to have a photo with a smile on their face like the Trump brothers do. So I'm very happy and pleased that New Jersey has taken this lead. I would very much like New York to follow our lead so that none of these trophies could come into any of our airports by ship, by sea, or by transport, and that would really crack down on these trophy huntings and extend the life expectancy of these endangered species. Indeed, we are the second biggest importer in the world, second only to China. So if we could crack down on these exploits of trophy hunters, it would go a long way to not only ending cruelty, but a long way to preserving the life on Earth of these majestic creatures.
Thank you. Senator, what have been some of the biggest challenges to protect wildlife in America?
Well, number one, it's mostly on lack of awareness of the problem. Obviously, the NRA, which fought us greatly, doesn't like to do anything that restricts anything that you can do with a gun, which is really sad. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I qualified as a sharpshooter with a weapon, not a gun. I needed it. Our country needs it. Law enforcement needs guns. But to argue against any use of guns for any purpose that the NRA is doing and very effectively doing with huge campaign contributions is very sad. But more importantly, I believe it's a lack of awareness of people who don't realize the threat to existence on the Earth of these majestic animals. Can you imagine if we didn't have elephants? The life expectancy of elephants on Earth is about 20 years. Of rhinos, it could be as little as 10 years. So whatever we can do to prevent the extinction of these animals, we should be doing. Indeed, New York has followed New Jersey's lead in terms of ivory transactions. So they have worked hand in hand with us on this. They have not followed us with regard to trophy hunting. So to your listeners in New York, call your legislators. Have them get in touch with me. We need to ban any of these trophies from entering New York, just as we have the state of New Jersey. That'll go a long way to shutting down the traffic in trophies.
Now, Senator, you were directly involved with the ban on the purchase and sale of ivory as well as rhino horns. Could you take a moment and share some of your work with that effort with our listeners?
Sure, and indeed that was the first law in the nation to crack down. We've now seen New York follow our lead and 5 other states, and that is most critical because, again, people don't realize. I had a fellow senator who said, "What do you mean? I'm not going to be able to sell this ivory that's on my wrist?" I said, "No, Senator, you won't be able to. You can leave it to your heirs. You can give it to a museum, but we have to stop the demand, and it's critical." And if you just see the horrible suffering of elephants when their tusks are taken. Oh, and equally important is it's a huge funding source for terrorism. This is how they make money. And indeed, rhino horns are worth more than gold. And both ivory and rhino horns are now banned in the state of New Jersey and New York. And we are a huge importer of those products. So we have been working hand in hand, and this effort is extending not only across the United States but globally. The world is taking notice and following our lead. So I'm very proud of that for sure.
And I am so happy that you're doing all the things that you're doing. I remember working with several other activists, including elephantsdc.org, in regards to the ban, and it was a huge effort, and we are so grateful for all of your help. You've done so much for wildlife, and this new law that you're pushing through is just tremendous. Could you share some of the statistics, if you know them offhand, as far as how many animals are transported through New Jersey and what the law actually consists of?
Mm-hmm. Sure. We don't have New Jersey-based statistics, but we know that we're a major port of entry. Indeed, the port of New York, New Jersey, 80% of the commerce is in New Jersey. But it's 126,000 per year estimated by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Division of the federal government. That's huge. That's a big number. And we know we are probably a good plurality of that number. So the impact will be huge, but it's important that we crack down on it in New York. And it's important that your listeners get a hold of their legislators. Indeed, they can contact me, and they should. Click on or go to RaymondLesniak.com. You can click on Ray's story to find out everything else that I've been doing in my public life. But most importantly, go to my website, sign up, and get active in New York. I'll help you along the way. I'll work with anyone who wants to pursue this effort in New York, because with New Jersey and New York combined, it'll be a huge crackdown on bringing in these trophies.
From what I understand, if the poachers or trophy hunters were to bring the animal parts through the airports, they would be arrested, correct?
Well, certainly, it would be depending on the value, but these are always very valuable. So it would be a third-degree crime in the state of New Jersey, and that means the possibility of a 1 to 3 year sentence. Most importantly, it will be a huge deterrent for not only the person who killed the animal, but certainly no airplane, no commercial carrier, no shipping, no transporter, no FedEx truck would want to be part of that process either. So it's a very clear deterrent in our law to stop this trafficking.
Do you know how cooperative FedEx has been as far as this law is concerned? Do you know that they are going to?
Yeah, they have not. UPS has voluntarily, before we passed the law, refused to engage in the shipping. FedEx has not, but we don't need their help anymore. We did it on our own. So thank you, UPS.
Yes, thank you, UPS. Senator, you've done so much for the environment, and I know a lot of my listeners, especially folks that are located in some of the neighboring states, Pennsylvania and New York, are somewhat familiar with some of the other things that you've done, but could you just take a moment and talk about your victory with Exxon?
Well, it's not a victory yet. Boy, from your lips to God's ears, I hope. If that's the way the saying goes, I think it is. We're in court. We are actually challenging Governor Christie's sellout, and it can be described only in one way as a sellout. Exxon has been polluting our land, our water, our air since 1907 at refineries in my neighborhood, in Elizabeth Linden, and also in Bayonne. It's the largest pollution case ever in the history of the state of New Jersey. And the state, under previous administration, submitted evidence of $9.6 billion worth of damages. That's incredible. And Christie sold it out for less than $225 million. It was a disgrace. It was just a political decision. We expect to get that overturned on appeal.
Well, it seems as though you're the driving force behind a lot of things that are happening in New Jersey that pertain to wildlife and the environment, and I do believe that you will have a victory at hand very soon. You were just such a tremendous powerhouse when it comes to fighting for those who cannot speak for themselves, and I'm just so grateful that you took the time today to come on the show and to do all the things that you've been doing. Senator, you were just such a hero to so many people, and I just thank you for all of your time.
Well, I thank you, and if your listeners want to learn more, they can not only go to my website, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I run it myself. I don't have an administrator. We engage in a dialogue. And it's very interesting for me to hear folks' views from throughout the world, indeed, on issues like environmental protection, animal protection, and other issues that confront not only New Jersey, not only the country, but the globe and how we exist together as all of humanity.
Thank you, Senator. And I would like to extend an invitation to you to come back at some point in the future, whenever you have the time, to talk about some of the other issues that you're covering. You're just such an amazing person.
Well, I certainly will. I would love to do that. I'm fighting Governor Christie on many fronts. He sold out the state of New Jersey to other interests, and there are many chances, unfortunately, opportunities for me to have to take him on to protect the interest of the people of the state of New Jersey.
Well, thank you, and I really do look forward to having you come back.
And to everyone, have a great weekend, day, month, year. Let's celebrate with me our victory over these trophy hunters who are endangering these magnificent animals. We have to stop them, and we will.
Senator, one more time, can you give our listeners your website?
Sure, that's RaymondLesniak.com. Click on Ray's story. You'll find out about me from growth to my current birthday, where on Twitter I sank a 3-point jump shot to show everybody I can still play basketball.
How about that? And Senator, is it too much to encourage our listeners to also support your campaign for governor?
Well, I don't have a campaign for governor, although I'm certainly planning on running for governor. But again, anyone interested in following that path, just go to my website, RaymondLesniak.com, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. And folks, please check out the companion article, which will be available, which will feature all of Senator Lesniak's work, as well as the information as far as how to contact him. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been June Stoyer with the Organic View Radio Show. Have a great afternoon.